Emotional intelligence at work, in your career. Welcome to the EQ Academy. I'm Markus Freudenmann, and today we look at something that I'm very excited about. Emotional intelligence at work is something that I've learned to love because it's an important subject. We all spend lots of time at work, and it was important to me to change patterns, to change my beliefs. See, many people would think this is now a business course, how to earn money. Well, not so much. There is hundreds of courses, and I will mention some of the courses that I really love, and we will implement some of the trainings from those courses, but it's more to do with changing your patterns. You know, I was at a workshop with Bob Proctor, and he was standing right in front of me, and I thought he forgot that he had a microphone, so he was bellowing out into the room, thinking he needed to reach 500 people in the back, and he was yelling, maximum 2% out of this room will turn what they learned today into action. And I thought, yeah, I'm one of them, probably because I sat so close, but I assumed the whole room thought that. But then you meet people again, and you meet some of those seminar junkies, and you realize they still haven't implemented. They have ideas, and I'm planning right now, and there is always that consuming more and more knowledge, but to translate that into action is very rare. And that means we have pattern, we are stuck, we have beliefs, we have fears, and all of that is what we've learned before in our subconscious mind. Now we know we have the frontal lobe where we articulate things, where we understand, where we learn, where we have that immediate uptake of knowledge, and we can be quite intelligent. But then when it comes to decision making, we follow gut instincts. We follow those, deep-rooted feelings, and they live in the brain stem, in the amygdala, and in the core brain. And they are connected to the gut. They are not intellectual knowledge, they are habits, patterns, and that's what our subconscious mind is. Everything you've done over and over again will make you do it again and again, and that's something we need to override. And to break those patterns, to break free of them, that's the goal of emotional intelligence, and to delete them. Now you will realize that there is many of those little blue fields. That's negative memories that hold you back. You need to work many hours in order to achieve something. It's very hard to come to money. People cheat and they don't pay. I don't know, there is probably 1 million that we could list, fears and phobias and anxieties that prevent you from doing something which is out of your league, which is something you haven't tried before. And that's what we need to delete. Now, I just press here delete on my computer, which is a very nice thing, but it's actually in real life not a lot harder. When we have something negative that holds us back, all we need to do is balance it out. And that's what we learn. This is one of the key. Every single class that we start, whether you go into relationship or into business and career or social leadership, the first 3 lessons will always be adjusted. That single trick. How you transform something in your mind that holds you back, that you realize is not pushing you forward, into something that allows you to change. Now I know I've translated 100 of those actions into practical experience because I never had that problem. I grew up in an environment where my father had a huge factory, and I was supposed to take that over. Now, many would say, wow, great, how blessed. Well, my father was working from 6 o'clock in the morning. He was the first to open the lock until 10 o'clock at night, usually late, very late, 11, 12 o'clock at night. He didn't have holidays for 12 years. He was like non-stop stressed. He was organizing everything. And somehow I thought, if that's my life going to be, if this is what I need to do to be rich, I don't want it. I really don't want it. So for me, it was just the scary thing to see and not the exciting thing. So a lot of people would say, wow, I didn't. For me, that was the first thing where I thought I need to find ways to earn money that are different, that allow me to still enjoy reading, to go traveling, to see the world, to do what I love doing, to be with family and not spend the whole day in a company. So, see, that's why I had to learn that very early. And I found ways already during my student times to make very good income, to build up little products, to sell them, to keep myself financially independent so that I did not have to do that. And I managed to build up huge empires, very big business, sold them for millions of dollars and really traveled the world. I did outstanding things, all because I was fearful of being stuck in one of those patterns. So that's why I'm excited about this subject. And deleting your fears is actually not an issue at all. And I'll talk about that in a moment. So when we look at something that I learned in one of the courses, that was a very significant element in our training, that was from Donald Trump. And he made a presentation. He said, look, this is on the right-hand side, all my dreams, and you can see them. This is what I would like to, achieve, be known for, the money that I want to earn, the fame that I want to earn, all of that, this is my dream. Okay, then I hire a bunch of lawyers, legal people, all the miserable people that look for legal issues, and I let them find all the problems. And then they list all those problems, and then we have a meeting where we sit together, and they know my dream, I know their problems, and then we go through, how can we overcome the legal problem? How can we overcome competition? How can we reach a lot of people in a very competitive market? How can we do this? So we go through all of those different problems that they found and search for solutions. And we check, is that expensive? How much money will it cost? How much effort will it be? How much time will it take? To have an overview. And then we come in the end result and say, bloody hell, that's going to be a 10-year build-up to make a few dollars. We'll rather flag it. So the idea and the counter idea would work, but it's a lot of effort, so let's not do it. On the other side, if we realize, all of those problems are very easy to overcome. We find solutions in no time. We actually have already some of the solutions at hand, and it's easy to do, then we go ahead. It has both sides, and we are aware of them, and that's why we can focus on target instead of swinging back and forth. Now, what would somebody who is emotionally unintelligent do? They dream of having the house full with clients and a waiting list, and they dream and dream and dream, and then they open the door, and then they wonder, why is nobody coming? Somehow I put a sign at my door that I do coaching or counseling or something else, and nobody's coming. Oh, I need to do advertising too. You remember? Marketing, social skills. And then you need to do that. And then they learn all of those things. So they swing from the dream into the trauma, into all the things that they need to overcome first in order to make money. And that's the swing back and forth and back and forth. And we can completely prevent that by making a proper plan at the beginning. And that's emotionally intelligent as an approach to your business. And that's what we try to do. And it's in all areas. We don't make any discrimination. If you think, that's suitable for a coach, or it's suitable for a doctor, it's suitable for a housewife to organize her work at home and to break all the time free that she has. Let me just go back to the image in the beginning. You see here that little time and the dollar? Well, that's a very important factor. How much time do I work in order to earn money? For me, that was the most important question. I love to study. I love to travel. So I need to have enough money to do that and need to earn my money in the shortest time possible or in the least involving so that I can do all those things. So finding a solution to that is what we want to do. And breaking our old patterns that tell us that's not possible is number 2. And then we look into inspirations. When you work in that field, you realize that there is thousands of opportunities and possibilities, like what I said with Bob Proctor. Billions of ideas, but the least or the biggest problem in the whole thing is that most people know it, see it, but don't do it. And that's where one of the big books that I want you to read is the 4-Hour Workweek. Just Timothy Ferriss, really, really great guy. A little bit over the top, but I think you have to be to write something like that and do it that way. But that was my biggest inspiration. I read that book and it just flared up with a million ideas. And then we sold our property. We packed everything together into a storage. And then I traveled with my 4 kids and my wife for 3 years around the world. We did exactly what he said. We had business set up, online business, where we promoted products, affiliate products and promotional products, dropship products. And I was doing that really well. And we made the documentary during that tour about alternative health. And we put all that together. All done, financed, and we lived in dream places. We traveled all of Asia. We bought a car in India, South India, and traveled all the way through India up into the Himalayas and stayed there, into Nepal. Then we went all over to Europe, traveled all of Europe. We lived close to the Colosseum in Italy and stayed there for 6 weeks, exploring and teaching our kids real life and showing them all the wonders of this world. And then all of North America, Canada, and America with camper van, with mobile homes, all financed by intelligent planning, how to make money online, how to make money in the shortest time. I did consultations on the way. I did emotional intelligence training on the way. And all of it financed our journey. Now, that's why the 4-Hour Workweek is really great. Another book that I heavily recommend is The Breakthrough Experience by Dr. John F. DeMartini, because that will help you to break your pattern. You know, to say, oh, that's not possible. You can't take children out of school. Why not? Homeschooling is anyway 10 times better. They learn in half the time and they learn triple and they learn the most important things. So following a really cool curriculum and teaching them that. Sabrina developed her own because she thought they are all not good. So I'm going to do my own. And it's all possible. It's never ever is limited except by your beliefs. I say you are magnificent and you can change the world. Now, it doesn't help if I believe that, if you don't. And that's where emotional intelligence comes in. Breaking away those fears, breaking away those limitations, breaking away that idea, I can't. You can. And allowing yourself to do it. Allowing yourself to make mistakes. Instead of being angry about a mistake, say, like Emerson, he said very nicely, okay, I have 1,250 ways how to not build a light bulb. Great. I don't want that many lessons, but if they help me to reach my goal, it certainly does. And then product launch formula. If you have anything for sale, anything that you want to launch, a product, a service, a clinic, anything that is something that needs a bit of explanation. If you sell iPhones, you don't need a product launch formula. But if you have a new phone or a new product or a new service and you need to explain what you give to the world, then that's what you do. Jeff Walker is a really nice guy and his product has earned me, 1,000 times more than what I paid for his course. So doing it is then the question. You can buy the course and then sitting it in your shelf and not do it. But that's why you do the EQ Academy. To break those patterns, to do things and to translate them into action. All right. Now, when we work in the EQ Academy, we look at certain subjects. And I just like to give you a little bit of an overview, like that planning, a big whiteboard. You can see it. It's covered now behind me, but I have in the back room a big whiteboard. And that's where I draw all my ideas and I draft them up and I make lines and connect them. This is actually something you can do online and you can do on a mind map program, or you can do it in real life. I like the real life more. Many of you know my mind maps. They really help to clarify what you have to do and then to build strategy. But the questions that we work through systematically in the Academy is, what do you have to offer? What is the product, the service that you have? And how to create it. See, you might be extremely knowledgeable in a subject, but then you need to package it. You need to wrap it. You need to make it into a product that a client can purchase. Whether that's an hourly rate, whether that's a product, a physical product that you give, or it's based on a service that you can repeatedly sell. It doesn't matter. You need to make a product. And we cover that one in great detail. Then, who needs what you have? Well, there is all sorts of ideas where I thought, nobody's ever going to want that. Well, I was proven wrong in many cases. You have no clue what people are looking for. And again, we learn how to use SEMrush and Moz and all of those, or Google Keyword Planner, how to look for keywords and what people are looking for, how to search for the right keyword to target a product and to sell that in the best way. So that's a really important one. How big is the demand? How many people want that? How much would they pay for it, or what is worth for them? Finding out how you do it. I tried that in every different form. We had 6 sign-up pages for the same product in 6 different prices. And we had Google all linking to that product. And then we sold it for $0 for free. We sold it up to $370. And you know what? It didn't make a difference, the price. The only thing which made a difference is how well it was presented. Again, that brings us back to our social leadership field, how nicely you can wrap something and how you can make it. The price often doesn't matter. In actual fact, the higher the price, the higher the value. When I gave the course away for free, people didn't even look through. You could see the click-through rate was the first video and then they had no time. Those who purchased it for $250 was actually our prime rate. And that's why we have it now at this price. They worked through, they asked questions, they were participating, they ordered the test, they were really onto it. When it was too expensive, it dropped down, and it was also, I didn't feel good about it. So it really is something you can figure out, and then you have the right price that is worth for your clients. What is for them the best turnout? How do you reach them? I said that before. You can sit in your office and you have all the dream products, you have the best service in the world, but then nobody finds you. I put a sign at my door. I don't know why nobody comes in. Well, that's one of the big lessons, and how to do that, how to set that up, strategies on how to get out, how to build up your reputation and your fame, how to set up the momentum that from the first client on, you get such a feedback that they will all bring in new and more clients, word of mouth, all of that. So we cover all of that. And then how do you deliver? And that's a big thing. We'll cover that in the next slide because that's crucial. That will make or break your business and limit you to a certain income based on time. All right. And how do you get paid? Very important, because if you don't have those systems in place and have them organized, and we speak about organization, how do things work well organized to make less time involvement, more productivity, more money. All right. That's the goal. Now, one of the things that I told you already before was driving me in that journey was like my father's involvement from early morning till late night. And then at 70, he had his heart attack and passed away, which is pretty tough. He worked right to his retirement. And then when actual life was supposed to start, that's when his body gave up. And I don't want to do that. See, I want to live every single day of my life to the fullest and look back and say, oh, I haven't missed that. Oh, I have done that too. Oh, no, I have seen that as well. You know, why not? Why not allow me to live right now just by structuring and organizing my life in the best possible way? And we teach that with students. And you wouldn't believe, like, I can't do that. I think that's one of the top sentences that you hear all the time. That's not possible. Until they realize, oh, someone else does it. Oh, and that's how they do it. And actually, that's not that complicated. And all of a sudden, your patterns that you have imprinted deflate and they fall away. And then you try baby steps, and then those become big steps. And then in the end, you are making leaps. And that's the goal that we try to achieve. Now, physical products. And let me just talk about that. That's something. Again, if you have someone who produces and you're not the producer, it's always a lot easier. Warranty and claims and all of that stuff is then handed over to someone else. So I like to sell someone else's products if I believe they are good. And if I find someone who has a very good system, very good customer service, customer relation, warranty, all of that works well, then they are ideal partners for me. So I search for that and I look. If I have lots of complaints, if I have lots of negative feedback, like we had with our first PMF machines, dump them straight away. Now I have a company that has 100% quality. Every machine. If something doesn't work, if shipping damages or the machine is there sent in as a replacement in one day. They send you even the package for the return. Really beautiful service. So why should I not promote their product, help them, and earn my share on that? And this is where I mean physical product. Always look for structure, that you don't dig yourself a very massive hole. I think that's how my screwed up thinking came. I produced a watch and everybody I sent it out, the battery died, it didn't work, the display went blank. And I thought, oh my God, I handed it over to somebody who could do it professionally. And they made it and we started selling and it was all good. So sometimes you need to stay within your strength or weaknesses and allow a lesson there and use then services that can do it better. That's very important for physical products. Service, well, that depends. If you sell yourself on an hourly rate, as a doctor, as a coach, whatever, your income is very limited. You can increase your salary, your price, which moves you out of range for some people, and at a certain stage it's really cut off, then you're incredible or out of the range. But it's limited. You have 10 hours, 8 hours a day, and then you have some relaxed time or some lead time. But that's it. You can't make more money. And this is where structure really helps. We had that with a lot of clinics, but what did that doctor do? And I did the documentary on Truly Healed from Cancer, and that's my main environment where I've been working with hundreds of clinicians and doctors, and their main problem is the time limit, and then they repeat the same job every day. Again, like my dad, every day from morning till night, and they were explaining the same thing. So instead of doing that, take some, we looked before in the social field up to the big box and to the small box. Mark Hyman, beautifully, how he puts up a whole educational program, sends that out to all his clients, and they are educated, super educated when they come. He doesn't need to explain everything. He focuses on the essence, can pull through a lot more clients, and it's done. We started working with the clinic and it was a nightmare. Every patient testing, explaining and going through the same educational program. And I thought, wow, that's 80% of the time that you could use for something a lot more lucrative, wasted. So we made a package that before they go to the clinic, they get the test kit sent. They go do it locally. The test reports are sent in. When the client comes to the clinic, it's all organized and done. And then the program is already developed, not by the doctor, but by someone who looks through pathology, all the deficiencies, packages everything, presents it to the doctor, and the doctor can actually focus on the things that he needs to do instead of doing secretarial work. Structure. You realize what I talk about? It's nothing where you do less work. It's just where you structure it and you hand it over to people that can actually do it. Now, we had recently a lady come in. She said, that all doesn't apply to me. I only run my family. And I said, okay, what is it that you can do best? And she said, well, I pride myself in helping my kids with learning and studying and homework. And I love studying. So I said, well, focus on that. And what do you hate most? And she said, well, gardening. Hand that over and think about it's a $30 job. Every 2 weeks or wherever you grow, it depends. Certain areas is more or less, and then you have that job out of the way. And how can you do and earn that money back? By helping some other parents with education and with children and giving them some special classes or lessons after school and inspire them to learn. You make triple the money here than you spend here. And we started to restructure and reorganize. Or shopping, you go shopping and you have all sorts of things that you need to buy and you buy them every day. Structure, make one wholesale order, create an account, get everything delivered to your house, and that's it. Hundreds of ways to streamline your time and reduce the time effort in order to increase productivity and do the things that are important or which make you more money. And there's a lot, knowledge. Do you package knowledge and sell that ongoing? Just a little ebook, $9. If it's sold 1,000 times, that's $9,000 that you wouldn't have. And it just educates your clients. Or you have something like a $90 course and you put that out and you market that well and people learn and learn. They come as clients because they learned how credible, how much knowledge you have, how beautiful your wisdom is and how you can share it. Well, then you sell that ongoing. And what do? You improve the quality of your business, you improve the quality of your clients, you earn more money, and you spend less time with repeating the same crap over and over again. And I'm not deflating your knowledge with crap, but it's like when you do something every day, even the most exciting thing becomes pretty dull. And that's what I mean. So, how many can you sell? Very simple. How can you reach out? And how can you make it simple? There is so many ways to simplify your life and take out things that you do not like to do or not do well. It's one of my last lessons, and that's why it's pretty fresh in mind. I answered hundreds of emails every single day with very similar answers, rewrote and reinvented the wheel over and over. And after a while, it got dreadful because some people, they don't write you short emails with the very specific questions. They tell you their whole life and huge amounts of problems and dramas and everything. And then you have to search through that 2 or 3 times until you find what they actually want from you. So what I did is I did the last 100 and I put them into an FAQ. And I put a complete list of answers that I would give to each of those questions, and very specific questions, medical questions, referring to coaches, and all of a sudden we put that up, and we have now a lady in the Philippines, which cost me $7 an hour, and she reads through, she filters through, she sends through. If she doesn't have an answer, if it's not in the list, she sends it to me. I answer it, and then send it back to her so that she can categorize it, and then she answers back. Time efficient, it frees up 2 hours every morning of my time, and I can now do products and do more things which are a lot more effective. I don't think I need to go into a lot more. The main key in planning a business and doing it well is bringing structure into it. Breaking things the way you thought they have to be into something that it could be, and become creative and explorative. And then, we use a lot of those mind maps because they are easy to tick off, done, next, tick off, done. The letters for my affiliates, the letters for my partners, for everybody. It's all done and it's on automatic modus. I don't need to do anything anymore. Once this course is finished, once all the videos are uploaded, I'm done. I follow through and do customer service, which is what everybody wants, to be in touch and to ask a question and have someone to do it, instead of doing things which are completely unnecessary. And that's what we will teach you, not only how to do it, but also how to break your pattern of not doing it, just planning it always for tomorrow, all right? Once you have a detailed plan and a deadline, you're on direct path towards success. And I just wanted to mention a deadline is crucial. Maybe it's just crucial for me, but I don't believe so. Without a deadline, it's always tomorrow. It's always another day. And it's a year another day. If you put a very clear deadline in, if you make a very significant thing out of it, you might announce it, you might advertise it, you might do a lot of things. It will get tight towards the end, always. But you'll get there. And it forces you to concentrate and focus. Focused attention. We'll learn that in the mental department, where you filter out everything, where you turn off all the distractions, where you don't let your mind wander, where you focus on what you need to do. That comes through deadlines. Hey, if that's a tool that I can use, thank you, and tick on the box, and we set a deadline, and then we start working towards it. We make a nice proper plan, what needs to be done by when in order to achieve the deadline, and that's it. Now, this is a really beautiful little testimonial. We've got hundreds of those from Daniel, and I just wanted to tell you his story. You remember I probably said sometimes during the other videos, paint. He had a paint shop. and 1,000 different paints, 1,000 different colors and different brands and whatever. And he was working like my dad, early morning till late night every day. And when he signed up, he just worked through the course, and then we have our mastermind group. He was signing up in the mastermind. And he said, look, this is what I do. How can I transform my business? And first of all, an online store, number one. Secondary, I suggested that he would move away from a brand that everybody serves, everybody sells, everybody competes with each other, to focus on something which is, my passion, environmental friendly, non-toxic, natural, with beautiful radiant colors. Go to the trade shows and search for things like that. And he actually then realized, his son has allergies, his daughter has allergies, they have food sensitivities, they have chemical sensitivities, probably because of his inheritance. All of that built up. So once he made the connection and the purpose crystallized, he started to look for that. And then he made an online shop where he sold those paints with beautiful service. They send out little samples on paper leaflets to people if they wanted to check colors and a color range so that you could hold it on a big sheet to the wall. Great customer service and very good communication, all set on automatic motors. He was talking about those natural paints and starting locally in his environment for housing groups and for architects giving presentations, for local builders giving presentations, offering to clients. All of a sudden, social structure, everything that we learned, we built that all together and all online. Once everything was done, he was like, it's really strange, but what do I do with my time? I don't know. And I said, well, what would you love to do? And it was funny because he said to me, his biggest dream was always to travel. This guy and his wife didn't even have a passport. They hadn't left the country a single time. And I said, okay, number one, write down a massive list what you want to explore and see in this world. And with every successful business that you do, you go and visit one of those and make it something special. Make it really beautiful. Travel the world and see it. And just check emails and check that everything runs smooth. Put the people into charge instead of doing it all yourself, and you will realize it works. And he wrote me back that they made 9 times of their record year in one, we earned this year 9 times our record. So it was really like an extreme improvement, a lot better turnover, a lot better profit margins as well. Plus, he became an expert in that field with very few competition, little competition, and it worked. So when you see that things turn out that way, it's really beautiful. And it inspires me to keep doing what I do, because that's the reward that you get out of helping someone in need and resolving and helping them to resolve their problems. I think it's very gratifying. All right? See you tomorrow when we look at the mind and learning and curiosity and changing that thought pattern and balancing right and left hemisphere of the brain. That's going to be a very, very exciting subject.